All right, guys, welcome to the Allie G Show. Today I am here with Hilary Burgess, aka Running Up That Hilary. Hilary, what's up? Welcome to the Allie G Show.
Hey, super excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. And I guess while we kick things off, I feel like I know so much about you from Eric. I say this literally in every pod because he like gives me the rundown. But why don't we start with a little bit about you? So tell us who you are, where you're from, what you do.
Sure. So I live in San Antonio, Texas. I am a mom and a runner, and I've been running for the majority of my life. I'm actually the daughter of a track and cross country coach. To
Yeah.
this day, that's his job. So he was my track and cross country coach in high school. He got me started even before that. So I've been running quite a long time. And in addition to that, I have a 9-year old son and a 4-year old daughter. I'm actually about to quit my my corporate job,
Hey.
so I have another week there. But technically, right now, I do still have a full time job, and I grew up in Arizona. And I've been in Texas. I was born here, and then I came back at 18, and I've been here ever since. So about 15 years.
Love it. That's awesome. And I heard through the grapevine, I don't want to get this messed up again. Shout out to Eric if I mess this up, but you are from Arizona, you live in Texas, but you got married in New Hampshire.
I did. Yeah, we had
Okay.
a destination wedding in New Hampshire, right outside of Manchester,
Oh, that's
in
so fun.
Wyndham.
Did you have any connection to New Hampshire or you just were like, I really like it here. I want to get married here?
So my husband and I, we're total fall people,
Hmm.
and fall in Texas half the time is on Christmas. Like
Yeah.
that's when we get the leaves and everything. So as far as real fall goes, we went up the year before we got married. We went up to visit. We went to I ran the Newburyport half marathon, and we ended up getting engaged out in Connecticut. And we've always been huge Halloween and fall people, and we started dating in October. We got engaged in October, and when we started planning our wedding, we are like, we need to go back, and that's
Yeah.
where we need to have this wedding. It needs to be a fall wedding. It needs to be as much fall things as possible, and it cannot be in San Antonio. And so we got married at Searles Castle
Oh my God, so cool.
in Wyndham, and it was amazing. And it was like it was the coolest experience. And but yeah, no, we had never visited the venue before the rehearsal.
Oh, wow.
Everything was virtual because we're what 1,500 miles away.
True.
And I've been to we've been to New England quite a few times, but never specifically to go to Manchester.
Hmm.
Um, and it just ended up we when we were researching things, we fell in love with that one.
That's awesome. What a great story. That's a like full circle moment for you guys in
Yeah,
Halloween in the fall. Halloween is
yeah,
the best holiday, by the way. I mean,
yeah. Oh, it
I
absolutely
it's
is.
so fun. It's so
Yeah. So
fun.
our anniversary is October 29th.
Oh,
So
so close. I love
we're
it.
all in on fall.
Heck yeah. It's awesome to hear. And I guess again to kick us off here, what is something that people would be surprised to know about you? Other
Ooh.
than, what I just said about you.
Yeah,
Because I think
that's
that's
I'm trying
cool
to
and
think what's
interesting.
surprising because I post so much stuff
You do.
so
I
much
love it
like
though.
unglamorous stuff about myself. So I'm trying to think what would be surprising to find out. I'm a really good parallel parker. I'm not a
Ooh,
great
love
driver
that.
in general, but I can parallel park like amazing.
Okay,
That's like the one thing I can do in a car.
that's a great fact. I mean, it's tough for a lot of people. And a lot of
Yeah.
people being me when I was like 16 and they were
Oh,
like,
including my husband.
"You're
Like, and my
two
husband's
phones."
so much of a better driver than I am. Like, he is way better of a driver. Like yesterday, I drove all the way to my group run without my keys. Like, I am not a good driver. Like, I got there, and I realized that they were in my house, and
Like your car key or
um,
your house key? Because
my
my
car
car will do
keys.
that, but then it
My
won't
car
turn on.
keys.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
so he left it. My husband left the car running, and I thought he meant he left it running, like including the keys. So like I went
Yeah.
and I drove for like 30 minutes, and I get there. I'm like, oh hey, I don't have my car keys. So I am not a someone who is quite gifted in the car realm. The world is probably a worse place for me being behind the wheel.
No.
But I am a very good parallel parker. So in that one specific category.
Same. I respect the honesty so much. Parallel parking is very hard. I remember when I was taking my driving test, or no, maybe when it was like when you had to do your 6 hours or whatever, because that's how it is in New Jersey. I literally could not do it. My instructor was like, "Listen, you have like another 6 hours to get this right before your test." And I was like, "Okay, okay, okay, okay." And then you get to the test, and the cones are like, you could fit a bus in there, and I'm still
Yeah.
like, "Wait, how do I do this?" So listen, that's a good skill to have as a driver. Okay, at least I'll say it. No, that's awesome. But and I guess again, before we kick ourselves off with everything running and your social media content, I would love to hear about your pod because I heard about it a little bit. Like, tell us everything about it.
Yeah, so hoping to launch the beginning of July.
Love it.
And so with actual episodes and everything, and spend June getting ready for that. And it is a running history podcast. So
Love
during the
it.
pandemic, I was running pretty much every day, and that was the first time that I ever really started listening to podcasts. Like before that, I never listened to podcasts, and I
Mhm.
started listening to one called Today in True Crime. So it was they would take where let's see, today is May 21st, and they would say on May 21st, 1895, this prolific serial killer was born in this place, and then they would tell the story. The
That's cool.
tie-in would be something within the true crime realm that happened on May 21st at some point in history.
Mhm.
And they stopped making new episodes of that like 3 years ago. Like they haven't made new episodes in a
Damn,
long
I'm over
time,
here
but
like I gotta listen.
but like it's like cemented in my brain is okay, this is a great idea. And I
Mhm.
started looking into it. There's a lot of ones like that. There's one that is like today in sports history,
Mhm.
but like I find sports really boring unless it's running. And sports is like such a broad thing. Like I don't
Mhm.
care about baseball, I don't care about hockey, or anything like horse racing, any of that stuff.
Right.
Like and I feel like there's a lot of runners that are in a similar boat where it's like, they might look up the sports history and comb through it to find the ones that are running related.
Mhm.
But not something, it's not something specific and a daily kind of thing. And I've gotten really into one of the things that I've been posting a lot of is lesser known running stories from history. And people have
Mhm.
really kind of taken to that and reacted well. And and I've thought about doing a pod for a while. I didn't have a specific hook. I just kind of wanted to do one at some point, and
Mhm.
it was very vague. And then the pieces kind of fell together with, I'm super interested in running history, especially stories that are not told all the time. Like
Mhm.
there's those core stories that everybody knows, and they're great stories, but they're told over and over. And there's so many stories that are never told.
Yep.
And so I want to, you know, talk about the big wins, the small wins, the obscure things, the firsts, and the records, and
So cool.
just all that stuff. And it's going to be pretty broad. Just anything. I have a Google Doc with every date of the year that I'm filling in. I'm about 75% done, and it's everything from this was the first iteration of this race to this was when this one person was born, or this one person died, or when they set this record. Just very broad, all sorts of stuff, everything from sprints to trail running and ultras and marathons and Olympics and local road races, just all sorts of that stuff. And I'm just super passionate about it. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited to
I
to
know,
share
it
with other
sounds
people.
like
I'm
it.
hoping that other people find it as interesting as I do.
I
And
think they
hopefully,
will.
yeah.
I definitely think they will. That is such a good idea. I can't wait to listen. myself. I think that's going to be so cool. And it's so different from anything we have out there now, right? Like, I think it's such a niche topic and people don't realize like how much there is to learn
Oh yeah.
about running and like the facts, right? To your point, we have the repetitive stories of like, you know, we have the Catherine Switzer and Boston Marathon,
That's the
which
one
is
that I
like
have.
amazing.
Yeah, which is an
Yeah.
awesome story, but it's there's so many other like female pioneers for running,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
that I feel like get kind of overshadowed a lot of the time. And
Totally.
so having 365 chances to tell those stories,
It's gonna be
and
so
they're not going to
awesome.
be. This is not going to be like a daily 2 hour thing. Like this is not going to
Yeah.
be extensive, but enough to tell these stories. And then if people are interested, they can go look up more, like that.
Yeah.
They at least hear of it. They people who might not get the attention, or records that they might not know existed,
Hmm.
and then further reading and all that.
That's so cool. Are you gonna try to have like people on, or is it just gonna be
I
you?
think that would be cool eventually.
Hmm.
I mean, it would be cool at some point to have the people that I'm talking about, because some of them are alive.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, some of them, like, this is it, because my stuff goes back. I think the earliest date that I have is like the 1870s. So I do have quite a few
Hey,
that are
that's
like
so cool though.
long before anyone who's alive now was even a thought.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool eventually, like, to have somebody on to talk about their actual experience, or to have like guest hosts if it's something that's specific, important to them,
Hmm.
um,
For sure.
and things like that. I don't have all of that figured out. I have the topics for the first like 9 months, and that's about
Listen,
it. Yeah,
that's like all
that's
you
about
need,
all I
really.
have right now. That and a microphone that I bought from Amazon that I haven't set up yet. So
See, I mean,
that's what I have.
you're already a podcaster though. You have the mic, you have the topic, you have
Yeah,
everything,
all you need
you
is
know.
that.
Do you have a name or is it
Yeah, it's just today in running history.
cool? I
Yeah,
love it. That's so
yeah.
cool. That's so, so cool. Well, I'm super excited for it. I think it's gonna be great. And are you gonna use like your, all right, let me backtrack a little bit. Tell us about how like running up that Hillary started and like your content started and how you kind of got into that space.
So it started because I still have this Instagram. I have my personal Instagram, and that's
Hmm.
and I would post like my races and my runs, and I felt like it was getting annoying to people who weren't in the running world. And so I decided to just make a second Instagram. And originally it was just going to be kind of a training log, like a
Hmm.
digital training log. Here's a picture of the run I did today. I ran 3 miles, and here's a selfie. Like,
Hmm.
and I didn't expect anything else. And then, I started following other people. I started meeting people offline and kind of getting into a lot of other things. Um, and I didn't even know what like brand partnerships. I didn't even realize that that was something that non-professional runners or like non-celebrities could even do. I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah.
And so I started getting into some of that stuff, and that was really cool. Then I started kind of playing around with just posting whatever I thought of. If I thought of something that was slightly funny, or like I found
Yeah.
funny, like
I
just
think it's
trying it
funny.
out, putting it out there, or kind of being outspoken with things that I was especially mostly angry or passionate about. So a lot of I think the first post that I had that went truly viral was the first iteration I did of elite versus elitist. So it
Mhm.
was like a whole series, and I did a few of these posts, but essentially stupid people saying stupid things on the internet, and contrasting them with what like actual important people say.
Mhm.
And so, idiot on the internet talks about how a 6 hour marathon doesn't count. And an Olympic marathoner talks about how a marathon at any pace is awesome, and
Right.
contrasting that. And then I kind of realized, I was like, that was the first one that I got over over 1 million views. And I like making fun of myself a lot. The
Mhm.
first video that I had that made that went slightly viral, whatever, was of me finishing my first marathon, and that was an absolute disaster. It's the worst I've ever looked and felt in my entire life. I actually tested positive for COVID about
Man,
10 hours after finishing the marathon.
it's a miracle you, like, finished on
Yeah.
2 feet, right? I feel
Yeah,
like that's
yeah, I was, like,
I'd be dying.
completely diagonal finishing,
Yes,
it was
I'm
so
sure.
bad, but I posted that video, and that ended up, like, you know, getting quite a lot of attention, and, kind of between those 2 posts, I kind of started experimenting with other things, and, I started getting, some brand partnership kinda things, and then at the same time, just when things would pop into my head that either reminded me of running, or like I would watch a movie and I'm like, oh hey, that I could tie that in some way. Um, I would just kind of post things like that, and it just I did not expect. I didn't expect to ever like meet friends
Mhm.
online, like we
Yeah.
grow up, and it's like, the
Yes.
stranger danger of the internet, and don't
Totally.
don't talk, like,
Don't
I
talk to
never in
anybody.
my life had friends that I actually met online, and then like we meet up in real life,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
nobody gets killed. Like, it's
Yeah,
it's definitely not something I ever expected. I didn't
yeah,
expect anybody to send me any free stuff or pay me to post about things. Like, that was never
yeah,
the intention. It just kind of, like, everything kind of just rolled out organically, and I've been running for so long. I mean, I think my experience, and I guess, like, knowledge of the sport is pretty deep,
mhm.
as well as the passion. I think people kind of resonate with that, and I also kind of suck. I mean, that's honestly
You
part of
don't
it.
suck.
Like, I'm not the worst runner out there, but I'm really not that good, and I think that there's a lot of really fast, very visible people. And I think that there's a space for people who are more in the middle. And,
Totally.
most people are in the middle. So I think that it just kind of worked out that I don't know. Everything
No,
kind
I
of
love it.
fell into place.
I love that, and first of all, I don't think you suck as a runner. I think no matter what
No,
you're doing
I'm
no, I
just
know
not
what you mean.
particularly
I
talented.
know what you mean, but it's true that, like, to your point before, like, a marathon's the same no matter the pace. Like, it's literally the same mileage, the same course, the same footsteps, the same distance, everything, right? So, like, one of my best friends, oh, anytime we run together, she's like, I'm such a middle of the pack runner. I'm like, literally everybody is a middle of the pack runner. Like, everybody's in the same boat, just being
Yeah.
like, whatever, this is my vibe. But no, that's really cool. And I love that you post these things and you're like not afraid to call people out, which is so awesome. And it's so refreshing to see on social media because to your point, right? You've been running for a long time, which we'll get to, of course. And you know, there's such an influx of like wrong information and then you have like stupid information and like stupid comments that people make. I just had Mike Beeman on my pod and he had said like, oh, somebody runs one day and they think they know everything. Right. And like that's kind of like TikTok right now or like Instagram Reels right now. So it's really
Yeah.
refreshing to see your content and being like, oh, you know what? You're in the same boat as me today. Or like,
Yeah.
the self deprecation is something that like I very much cling to because I think it's
Yeah.
funny and that's my sense of humor. Like I constantly make fun of myself.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
you have to, like,
you have to, it's not that serious. Nothing is that serious.
yeah.
Truly, nothing is that serious. No, and I guess like with that being said, is there a favorite piece of content you've made or like a favorite partnership you've had?
Um, the Brooks partnership has been pretty awesome.
That's cool.
So this is my second year with them. That's been pretty incredible. Mostly, I mean, the stuff they send you, and like, I get paid for some of it. Like, that's cool, but like the actual, like, community of people is
Mhm.
so awesome. Like, it's such a great and supportive group. And I mean, we have some really, really fast people, some really, really slow people, some Hillarys in the middle, and like, it's
Love it.
it's is such a like everybody is so supportive of everybody else. Like we have a Slack channel, and people will like they'll do shout outs on races, and it's like, okay, this person is trying to break 3 hours, this person is trying to break 6 hours, and it's like, people are celebrating all of that.
Mhm.
And I do have that in real life with my running group, except we're all around the same pace because we run
Mhm.
with each other. So I mean, I have the supportive stuff, but as far as like the brand, that's definitely my favorite brand that I work with. It's pretty awesome. They'll do like little challenges, content challenges and stuff.
That's
That's
cool.
fun. And we have our we have Hype Fest, which is like our annual conference thing. So I got to meet a lot of the people in person last year in Chicago. And then we've met up at other races at New York City and in Houston, and that one's been really awesome. And
Love
then
it.
content wise, honestly, recently the biggest thing has been these history things that
Yeah.
I've been posting a lot more of. So those ones kind of really started ramping up during Women's History Month in
Mhm.
March. I did a bunch of that stuff. So I had one about Deanne Leather, who was the first recorded woman to break 5 minutes in the mile.
So
And
cool.
this happened about 3 weeks after Roger Bannister broke 4 minutes in the mile. So it was like this parallel of this breakthrough for women that was so very much overshadowed by
Mhm.
the breakthrough for men, not just at the time, but also the last 60 years. Um, so much so that no one has any idea who that is.
Yep.
And that one was really cool. Her niece actually ended up finding my reel and like commenting on it and
What?
all that,
That's
which
so
was really
cool.
really cool.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, that's awesome.
Um, yeah. And so I did more of those, and that's been something I've really been enjoying a lot lately.
Love it. Love it. And I guess bringing it all together, like what is it you being the daughter of a track coach that got you to start running? What is the how did your running journey start?
Yeah, so he this was actually before he was a coach.
Okay.
He was a marathon runner. So my dad started running in 6th grade. And his uncle actually got him into running. His uncle was a collegiate middle distance runner. Um, and so he got him into running. He was kind of his male role model growing up, and so when he mentioned he should try out running, he jumped onto it, and it turned out he was really good. And so he actually ran his first marathon at the age of 12, which it was
What?
1980, so you were allowed to do that.
That's
Now there
incredible.
are which is honestly horrible.
I mean, yeah,
Like
like
6th graders honestly have, or seventh, whatever grade he was in, he was 12. Um, like have no business running that sort of
yeah,
distance.
I
Like that is
mean,
not a healthy thing. But it was the 80s and things were different, and you
that's
could
right.
sign up anybody for anything. So that was his first marathon. And then he did a lot of like youth track. He went to track camp at University of Oregon, and the camp was put on by Bill Dellinger, who was
Gets better and better, this
Steve
story.
Prefontaine, and one of his camp counselors was Pat Tyson, who was Steve Prefontaine's roommate, and like
Unreal.
all of this. So he was a huge runner and running nerd before I was even born. And
Mhm.
then I'm born, and he took probably a 10-year hiatus from running to go to college and get married, have some kids, have a career, all this stuff. And his first career was in journalism, so he was not a cross country coach or a teacher yet. But then in his early 30s, as we all do, he thought, you know what, I'm going to get back into marathoning because that's just a life milestone
Yes,
that just happens.
especially
When
right
you turn
now.
30, you have to you have to run a marathon. Um, and so he did, and in it was November of 1999. He asked me if I wanted to run a 5K with him. And I'm like, I don't know what a kilometer is, but like, let's do it. Like,
Sure.
sign me up. Let's do it. And so I was in second grade. I was 7 at the time, and we ran that 5K, and then it started being kind of a weekend thing, like all over the Phoenix area, wherever there was local 5Ks. It was all 5Ks at the time. I did not
Yeah.
ramp up in mileage until much later.
You mean you didn't
Um,
run a marathon?
I did not know he definitely, and he would say the same thing. Like he recognizes that that is absolutely insane.
I mean, it's
Um,
iconic, but
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, he ran a 3:33 marathon at
Come
12.
on.
Yeah, yeah.
That's I mean, it's incredible,
He set his
truly.
marathon PR at the age of 12. He got, I think his fastest in his 30s was like 3:40. Like he never got within 5 minutes of what he ran at 12.
That's
Um,
hilarious.
yeah, it's insane. But it just kind of became like what we did, and
Mhm.
then he started. I think I was in fourth grade when he started. He made a whole career pivot, got out of journalism, became an English teacher, and then he was a teacher, and the school had some sports, and so he became the assistant cross country and track coach. And I watched him do that. We would go to some of the meets for his kids, so I was around the sport of cross country and track. And then when I went to junior high school, it was just the logical thing for me to sign up. Like
Mhm.
there wasn't a, hey, like what sport should I do? It was just kind of an automatic like signing up for track and cross country.
Yeah.
And so I did that in junior high, and then for high school, I went to the high school that he um, taught and coached at, and so he was my cross country and track coach,
Oh, that's
um,
so
which
fun.
was awesome. It was a really cool
Yeah.
experience. And then I went to college. That's when I moved back to Texas. Um, and I ran a little bit my first couple years. There was like 5Ks on campus and like stuff like that, just a little bit. But it wasn't until my junior year that I decided I'm going to run a half marathon. Um, and my dad made me a training plan, and
Oh.
I kind of stuck to it a little bit, and kind of didn't, but I was 20, so I could get away with
It's like
that.
every first half marathon.
Yeah,
You're like, yeah, whatever. It's
yeah.
gonna be fine.
Yeah. And so I ran the rock and roll half marathon in 2012 here in San Antonio. And that kind of kickstarted, like it became my favorite distance pretty quickly.
Mhm.
And I spent about 10 years completely focused on half marathons. I didn't
Wow.
train great when I was younger. Like I would show up for races and I would run maybe 5 miles in the middle of the week, and that was about it. um, and then when my first child was born in 2015, as I was getting back into shape with him, that's when I really got into actually training well.
Mhm.
And I ran a lot with the stroller and all of that. And then the pandemic hit, and that's when I started running pretty much every day.
Mhm.
Because like what else were
Yeah.
any of us going to be doing? Like there's nothing else going on.
Literally.
And then
I
I
ran
ended
every
up
day.
I ended up pregnant with my second, so I had to quit running about halfway through that pregnancy. Took a little break, had her. There's a bunch of complications and stuff. With She had a heart condition and just a lot of stuff there. So it was a little bit before I got back into running.
Mhm.
But then I did my first half marathon, my first postpartum half marathon after she was born. I think she was like 8 months old
Yeah.
when I did that. So I mean, I guess it wasn't that long of not running. It just seemed like a
It feels
lot.
like an
Like,
eternity.
yeah, it was
One
about a
day.
year. It was about a
Yeah.
year from when I had to stop running in my pregnancy to when I actually ran that first postpartum half marathon.
Mhm.
And I finished in 2:47, and I thought I was going to die. I called my dad at mile 10 and was like crying on the phone. I was so close to not finishing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like it was so hard.
Mhm.
And then I finished, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna do this more frequently. I'm gonna get back into this. Like, and she was still sick at the time. Like
Mhm.
her first 15 months were pretty terrible.
Mm.
A lot of hospitalizations, couple surgeries, like just a lot of different stuff.
Mhm.
And but I ran through a lot of it. And I raced through a lot of it. And it was kind of like the one thing that I, you know, little bit of respite from
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
And I got, I got a little bit faster, and more confident with the distance. I felt like myself again. I was back to where, 13 miles didn't feel like I was going to die. I'm no
Mhm.
longer calling my dad close to death, only 10 miles into a race.
Yeah.
And then I had the idea, I'm going to run a marathon. And that was
I
also the
love
year
it.
I turned 30, which it happens. It's
Because
like an automatic
obviously
thing.
you have to do it when you turn 30
You
or
do.
before or
It's a
after.
30s thing. Like so that year, the year that I was 30, and I joined a local running group, and I honestly didn't have any expectations. Like I thought that I was going to join this group and they would be, it would just be a way to stay accountable for training. I didn't think I would like actually like the people or
Yeah.
like run with them like for a lot longer, because I've been running alone pretty much since high school cross country. Like that was like the
Yeah.
last time that I would run with people.
Mhm.
And so this was what, 12 years later at that time.
Yeah.
But I really liked the people, and I learned to slow down my easy runs, and just I was no longer afraid of the distance.
Mhm.
And I remember when I did my first 20 miler, and just like the feeling of knowing like I can actually go this distance, like I can actually make
Yeah.
this happen.
Yeah.
And then that's when I had that first marathon. And that was the one that turns out I had COVID. I did not know I had COVID, so I would not have raced it.
Of
Like,
course. Of course.
um, I actually felt fine the morning of. I
Mhm.
started feeling sick about 18 miles in, and I just thought that was like a thing because I'd been running for 3 hours. Like I just thought
Yeah,
that was
like you hit
like
the
it
wall
was
or,
just a thing.
yeah.
And it turns out it was not normal. And
Oh,
marathons hurt, but not like they
not
shouldn't. You
COVID
shouldn't
hurt.
get close to death. Like so, I have finished all the rest of my marathons since then, like on my feet, like mostly vertical.
Yeah.
It was really bad, but
Oh,
that was what got that started. So that was December of 22. January of 23 is when I started the Instagram.
okay.
Um, February of 23 is when I ran my second marathon, and that was kind of the one that where I felt like I performed well, and I realized that I could, it wasn't just a finishing thing, like I could actually improve.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that was the first time that I broke 5 hours in the marathon. So it was, which was like a 24-minute PR from the COVID one 2 months earlier. So that was,
That's so good.
yeah.
That's
And then the month after that was when I met somebody on Instagram who was running the Boston Marathon for charity, and I asked him about it,
mhm.
and he gave me some advice. Find a charity that is a cause that is close to you. Like there's a
Mhm.
reason why. So I started researching things, and I had this idea at some point I was going to run the Boston Marathon,
Mhm.
and I found a charity that was a pediatric cardiology charity.
Oh, wow. Perfect.
And they had left their submission form for the 2023 Boston Marathon open. So this is March of
Mhm.
2023. The
Like
marathon was April of
April. Okay.
2023.
I was gonna ask
And
same calendar year.
I read no, a month before, like 1 month
Yeah.
before. Like I reached out and I said, "Hey, like I'm sure y'all are not looking for anybody right now, but I want to get a head start for 2024. Like
Mhm.
here's my story, and here's what my daughter has gone through, and here's why this is important to me."
Yeah.
And then I get a call from Susan at Charity Teams, and she tells me, "Hey, this is insane, but I actually got an extra bib. Do you think you can
Wow.
raise $8,500 and get to Boston in the next 32 days?" And I'm
Wow.
like, "All right, yeah, let's do
Were
it."
you scared at all
Yeah,
about fundraising? About okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was, because it's like, like if you don't raise that, that's going on your credit card.
Card.
Like that I would probably still be paying that off right now.
Yeah, yeah. Me
But I
too.
dove in head first. Luckily, I had just run a marathon, so the training part was not a huge deal. Like
Hmm.
I was coming off the Austin Marathon, and so I was okay there. And then there were a lot of people that I know personally who had just seen what had happened with my daughter.
Hmm.
And we were about 8 months post op at that time. So this was not
Okay.
like a far off thing. Like she turned 2 that month and she had had the surgery at 15 months.
Hmm.
And a lot of people just had watched what our family had gone through with that and didn't really have any way of helping at
Yeah.
that point. And so when there was the call to action, like, hey, in her honor, um, I'm raising money for it's called the Joseph Middlemiss Big Heart Foundation, and so there were a lot of people who had wanted to do something at some point,
Right.
and they didn't have anything to do when she was in the hospital. There wasn't a whole lot that they could do. And so when I was raising the money, a lot of people felt like, okay, now I can actually do something in her honor
Oh, yeah.
and all of this. And so I was able to raise the money. It took 22 days, but I raised the full amount. I could not get a flight to Boston, so I wasn't able to
No.
figure that out. But I was able to fly to New Jersey and take a train.
Yeah, Jersey.
Um,
That's where I'm from.
so we did do that. And I got there. We got into Boston 1 hour before the expo closed,
Oh my
but
God.
got my bib. And then 12 hours later, I was waking up and getting ready to take the bus, and I ran the race,
Wow.
and it was pretty amazing. The charity was on like mid Heartbreak Hill,
Hmm.
so and like I got to meet them. I mean, it was very brief, obviously,
Yeah.
but
Like during
it
the
was
race, did you
probably
stop?
8 seconds. Yeah, it was during the race because they
Yeah,
had done some sort of dinner or something before I got into town. So like I missed
of course.
everything. Yeah, I didn't get to do any of the fun like race
No.
weekend stuff.
Maybe they'll have you back. Hopefully they'll have you back.
Yeah, I would definitely want to do it again at some point. But I got to run the race. I got to do that, and that was kind of the start of I decided to do all of the majors as a
Hmm.
charity runner. So I decided not to enter any lotteries and just kind of make it happen with charity as as I want to run the races, make it happen. So
Love it.
I'm doing Chicago this year. I did Berlin and New York City last year, and I'm signed up for London for next year.
Oh my gosh. And this is your
So
first
that
time for this is your first time in Chicago, right?
what was that? Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Love it. Love it.
yeah.
That's so cool. And are you going to add Sydney to your list or are you like that
At
doesn't
some
count?
point. At
Okay.
some
Okay.
point, yeah. I mean, that's a big old jump.
I don't know if they have a train from New Jersey, so you're gonna have to get a flight to Sydney.
Yeah, at some point. I mean, definitely at some point. I mean, I also want to do
Yeah.
Cape Town at some point. That's not even
Oh, be
officially a
awesome.
major,
I
but
know.
I do want to do it. Like, there's so much, and honestly, that's one of the things that I love so much about this sport is that like there isn't a time limit on it.
Hmm.
Like I always talk about gymnastics. Like there's like Simone Biles won all these awards during this last Olympics last year, and everybody
Hmm.
was so amazed because she was 27, and so like in gymnastics years, that's like 150,
Yeah, it's crazy.
and it's like and then you retire at 28, and then you live the next 80 years like
Like, what are you gonna do?
you can find a new sport, but you absolutely are not out there doing the same sport. And
Right.
that's one of the things that's so awesome about running is that it might not look the same if you're 30 or 50 or 90 or 110. Like it might look different, but you can still do the sport. So
Yeah.
I do want to run the Sydney Marathon. I don't know when that is. It might be in another 10 or 20 years, because that is a very big trip to get to Australia.
Yeah.
But I have time, and I have every intention of still being a runner
Love
for
it.
as long as my legs keep working, and I'm still able to do it. I will still be running.
Yeah, that's what I tell everyone. I'm like, if my knees don't give out by
Yeah.
the time I'm 30, I'm gonna keep going forever.
Yeah.
Um, that's so cool, and I love that you're trying to do all the majors. I think that's such a cool goal to have too. Like, I feel like I get such different perspectives on that, right? Like, some people are like, I really want to do it, but I have to get in the lottery, and others are like, I have to do it, but I want to do it for charity. So I think that's
Yeah.
really special and cool that you're gonna do them all for charity.
Yeah.
Definitely a cool way to connect with a bunch of different people and organizations. I think it's cool. That's how I did Chicago. I ran for Special Olympics in
Very cool. That's awesome.
2023, I think it
Okay.
was. I signed up at
Cool.
like 2 a.m. I was like, you know what? I love
That's
this
when the
charity.
best decisions are made.
Yeah, right? And then it like kickstarted everything. I ran like 3
Yeah.
marathons that year and I was like, well, screw it. I'm gonna do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Again, until my knees keep working. It's until my
Yeah.
knees stop working, I'm just gonna keep
Yeah.
going. And do you have any I hate this question, but like I hope you know how this is gonna come across, but do you have like any goals for Chicago or are you just going out there to have fun? Like
I haven't
what's
set
your
them
running
yet.
vibe? Okay,
So
fair, fair.
I'm running Grandma's Marathon next month.
Love it.
And my goal is to break 4:30. So my PR is 4:33. I've gotten close a few times, but I have missed it all what 5 times that I've actually tried to break 4:30. And
Always
so
it
goal for
always happens like
grandmas,
that.
yeah, goal for grandmas is to make it happen.
Mhm.
I know I have the physical ability. It's just getting all the other pieces lined up.
Oh yeah.
Um, and once I get through that, whether I hit that goal or not, I'm gonna kind of set my goal for Chicago once we get through that race, because I don't
Love
want to
it.
set this crazy aggressive goal for Chicago and then not hit my goal before that, and I also don't want to
Mhm.
set something too low for Chicago.
Yeah.
And so I will see this
Love
time
it.
next month. Actually, I think I'm 1 month away
I know, I was
today. I
gonna
think,
say, isn't it like
yeah.
June 21st or
I
something?
feel like it is. I should know that. Actually, so I 2 days ago I realized that I bought plane tickets for Friday night and that the race was Saturday morning. And
Oh
so
my god.
I thought it was Sunday.
I know, but
So I
they're
had
all
to pay
Sunday.
like
So why
four
would you
hundred
not? I think
dollars.
it's
Yeah, no, I had to pay like $400 to switch my plane tickets. Um, and so now I am getting in on Thursday night, so that
good.
I can actually like pick up my race bib and run
Yeah,
the
you
race
don't
and,
have
and all
to
that.
like maybe you can join all the
Yeah.
festivities and not miss
So
anything.
I will be there. But even at this point, I'm not completely confident about what day the race actually is. It's on a Saturday in June, and I
Yeah.
have plane tickets to be there, but
Yeah.
it's somewhere like a month away.
Yeah. No, I love that. It's gonna be fun. I heard it's a great course. I've never done it. It's a bucket list one for me for sure.
Yeah, my
Um,
coach, that's where she qualified for the Olympic trials.
so
So
sick.
I know that
So cool.
it's I know it's hilly, but I know that it's also like a decently fast course. Like it's
Mhm.
not like a New York City where it's hilly and also like super grueling.
Yeah, like
Um,
death,
yeah.
basically, after the Queensboro Bridge
Yeah.
and during the Queensboro Bridge.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's
Um,
just like, yeah.
yeah, no, it's horrible. It's horrible. That is so cool. That is so cool. I'm so excited for you. I'll be cheering you on from afar. It's gonna be a fun
Awesome.
one.
Thank you.
And are you doing, I know you partner or is it a partnership with Every Woman's Marathon that you're
Yeah.
just doing or like a
Yeah.
sweepstakes? Are you running it
I
yourself?
am. Yeah, so
What?
it's actually a really cool thing. So it's put on by Team Milk. And
Mhm,
so they have all of these local dairies like across the country have different social media representatives.
mhm.
So mine is Hygia Milk, which is here in South Texas. And then, everybody everywhere in the country, there's whatever the regional milk is.
That's so cool.
And so there's like different representatives for that, and so it's all kind of one big campaign, but then it's kind of regionalized so that it's kind of a local thing. So I'm super excited for that, and it's also it's in Scottsdale, which is about 30 minutes from where I grew up, and I have not been back in years. My kids have never been. My
What?
husband came once, but my kids haven't been. My youngest hasn't even met my grandma.
Oh,
So
so it'll
like,
be like a big they're all
yeah,
going, yeah?
yeah.
Love
So
it.
my dad, my husband, and my kids are all gonna go, and so it'll be
Really
really cool. I'm
special.
super excited for it.
That'll be really fun. It's gonna be an
Yeah.
awesome time. I I don't even know if signups are still open, but I'm gonna try if I can make it happen to make it happen. I really wanted to do the one in Savannah, but I
Oh
couldn't.
yeah.
Yeah, I missed that. I love Savannah. I'm sure it was so cool.
Yeah.
Um, no, and I guess with that being said, I know you mentioned you listen to podcasts a little bit, or you used to on your runs. Are you like a music person,
Um,
or do you just
I
like
do
no
mostly
headphones?
ebooks or
Hey,
or podcasts, but I do
love
like
it.
music when I'm not running.
Hey, that's cool. Who are like your top 3 artists right now?
Ooh.
I know it's like the hardest question.
I
I
know.
ask it and then I'm like, that was so unfair. It's
Yeah.
messed up.
So it's pretty much so my three top genres are 80s new wave,
Love.
which I love. Talking Heads is a big one that
Yes.
I'm a big fan of. And then I really like just like classic rock. I'm a huge Tom
Mhm.
Petty fan.
Yep.
I got to see him actually in Boston 2 months before he died. Obviously, none of us had any idea he was going to die.
Whoa. Yeah. Where
But
was
oh no,
that?
that was Philadelphia, whatever city that was in Philadelphia. And so I'm a huge Tom Petty fan, and then also just like basic pop. I like Taylor Swift. I like Chappell Roan,
Love
that
it.
kind of stuff as well. So
That's so cool. And what are
yeah,
your go-to ebooks when you're running?
pretty much all running related. So right now I'm
Fair.
on the last chapter of Meb for Mortals. So it's I've already read Meb's book, the 26 marathons book,
I haven't read it
which
yet.
kind of
I need to.
so it's really good. It's like it details the 26 marathons he ran as a professional runner, but then also kind of what lessons he learned from each of them, and it was
That's
everything
cool.
from winning Boston to dropping out of marathons, and he was able to learn something from each of them,
That's
even the
really
worst
cool.
marathons of his career. And so it's a really good book. I'm a big fan of his in the first place. So
Same.
Med for Mortals is like his training tips and stuff. So that's what I'm listening to right now. I just finished Better, Faster, Further,
Mhm.
which is a lot of women's history in running,
Love
which
it. It
is
all checks out to your pod.
it's such an awesome book. So I listened to that one recently. But yeah, that's pretty much the only category.
It's
Like
so cool
it's
though.
kind of lame,
I don't think it's
but
lame. I think that's awesome.
yeah,
I need to get on board with the ebooks. I feel like time would
yeah,
go so much faster while I'm running
yeah.
for 3 hours at a time.
Yeah, I do most of my long runs with friends, so I
Yeah.
don't. So I'm talking most of the time.
Mhm.
But if I run by myself, then typically I'll do either a podcast or an ebook.
Love it. And are there any other podcasts other than like true crime that you like?
I actually don't even really listen to true crime anymore. Like I got into that exact
It was
podcast
just that one.
it was just that one, like
So
over the
good.
pandemic, and then they stopped making new episodes, and so I just never listened to any again. So I listen to like religiously every single episode of Nobody Asked Us. I think all of us do.
Yep.
Obviously, on the runs, I listen to a lot of their stuff. I have a couple other like friends podcasts that I try to listen to a lot. So
Mhm.
Rob on the Run is one that I like a lot, and he's a good friend of mine. The Back of the Pack podcast, I've been on that one a couple times, and I really like that. And then I like Allie on the Run. I'll listen to some of her stuff. I'm not as religious on that one.
Mhm.
I kind of pick and choose based on who she's interviewing, but I like that one. Yeah, I mean,
I love it.
there's a lot like, and then I'll get suggested ones that I'll try out. But pretty much my Spotify just knows that like if it's running related, suggest it to me, and then if not,
Yeah.
I'm not going to listen to
Yeah.
it.
The Spotify gods
Yeah.
will lead you in the
Yeah.
right direction every single
Yeah.
time. It's actually very scary. No, I love that, and I think it's so cool to hear from different people, like, what their vibe is on a run. Like, some people are hardcore music. I was hardcore music, and headphones, like, would die without my headphones on a regular basis, obviously, but, like, I've started to run with a lot of different people and do my long runs with friends, so it's a lot of talking.
Yeah.
And then the
It's
other day, my
fun.
sister it is so fun, and you get to connect with people, and it, like, brings out, like, so many cool thoughts and, fun ideas.
Yeah.
But the other day, I made my sister bike 16 miles with me. It was, like, 2 weeks after the Boston Marathon. I was like, "I just have to do this ultra training, please." Like, I have to like, and I was like, "I just have to," like, between marathons, when you're waiting for it to click again, like, the
Yeah.
first few weeks are miserable, and then you're like, "This sucks. I just ran a marathon, and I can't even run 2 miles." And then you're
Yeah.
like one day, you're like, "I just gotta go do it, and it's gonna
Yeah.
suck, and you're gonna hate it." And I literally complained the entire time, and when I finished the run, I was like, I didn't turn on my music. And my sister's like, "You actually didn't because we were talking." And I was like, "Yeah, but there were points we weren't." And then I'm like, "Wait, I can do it without music." So it's fun to hear, like, different perspectives on people's adventures. And I love that. It's super cool. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
try an ebook. It will definitely everybody tells me it makes the time go faster. So following your lead on that. And maybe I'll start with
It's
Med.
it's also nice because it's like I don't have a ton of time to read. Like
Mhm.
I would read more if I could, if I had more time for it.
Yeah.
And I don't. So it kind of just like, doubles up. Like if
Yeah.
I'm already going to be spending this amount of time exercising, I can also get my reading in at the same time.
Yeah. No, for sure. Multitasking at its finest. We love that. And I guess as we wrap up here, if you're willing to share some of your favorite running items with the listeners, could be
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. Let me think. So one thing that I've been drinking a lot of is it's called Long Run coffee. And
Hmm.
so it's this coffee that has electrolytes in it.
Love it.
And that's what I've been drinking before runs, which I really like. I'm a big coffee person in the first place. And then
Same.
obviously I live in Texas and it's really hot and humid, so electrolytes are really important.
Yeah.
And so I tried it out, and they have really good flavors. Like one of the ones I have is like a thin mint. It has an actual name. Like they can't use thin mint
Yum.
because it's like
Because
whatever. I can't
death
remember
will
what it
come
is,
for
but
them.
it's thin mint flavored. Yeah. And then they have one that's like a blueberry pancake. That's my other favorite one. So
Yum.
I really like that one. I've been really into my race tats. So
I just
those
heard
ones
about
are so
them.
much fun. I
So
have a ton
cool.
of them, and they're just like little mantras that you wear. I wear them on my wrist. I mean, obviously you can put them wherever you want, but like that's like
Hmm.
a good place where it's like
Oh, yeah.
remind yourself it's
Keep
visible.
going.
Like you could probably put it on your face and it'd look cute, but like you can't see it. Like
Yeah.
so, I do them on my wrist. That's one that I really like. I have been like goo has been my go-to gel forever. Like since I was training for my first half marathon 13 years ago. And that's
So
because that
cool.
was my dad's go-to. Like from when
Hmm.
he was running marathons, I think it was the only gel available at the time. It was like
Maybe
you either do that or you eat orange slices.
the
Like those are the two
founding,
options.
the
Yeah.
founding gel.
You chew on a sugar cube,
Yeah.
like there
Nerds.
wasn't a whole lot of options. So he would eat goo, and so that's what I started, and so that's my go to. I don't even know if it is like if I particularly like it, but like it's my like comfort item. Like I know my
Respect.
stomach's gonna do fine with it.
Hmm.
I know the flavors I like. So my go to is salted watermelon. I know exactly what to expect, and it's the same every time. So that's my go to as like, and a lot of people really don't like goo.
I know. I don't They have great flavors.
Yeah,
I'm just stupid,
it's
and I
my
would always
favorite, but like I'm kind of alone in that. Like as more sports nutrition has gotten into the market, like
yeah.
I think there's a lot that have more of a cult following, but it's a classic, and I go with that, and it works. So
Listen, whatever works, I respect it. It's individualized and to everyone, like,
yeah,
everybody has a specific thing, and that's yours. That's cool. I used to eat the chocolate goose
oh
until
yeah,
they got so thick, and I'm like, "Okay, I
yeah,
need to stop using the chocolate and, like, go for
yeah.
one of the fruity ones that isn't
You have
so,
to
like, thick."
time it, like so I time it like when I know a water station's coming up.
Mhm.
so that I can like rinse it out of my mouth because
Yeah.
it's
When it, like,
it's
lingers.
sticky. Yeah. So you
No,
have to time it right,
you
but they
do.
do work well.
I love
And then
it.
the other one, so I like running in like biker shorts. I can't remember what they're called. I think they're the Spark ones from Brooks,
Mhm.
but they have big pockets in them. And most of the time, I like to run with a water bottle in my pocket, so I don't have to
Ooh,
carry it
I've
any
never
other
heard
way.
that
Like,
one. In your pocket?
yeah,
Wait, I
it's
love that. I'm
so
gonna have to try
any
it.
picture that I end up in with the water bottle in my pocket, it's super unflattering because like it just makes like it like doubles the size of my legs. But it's a really convenient thing. I don't have to do like a waist belt or a hydration vest or a
Yeah,
handheld. So that's
love it.
that's my other go-to.
Does it, like, bounce around in your pocket, or is
No.
it like, "What?"
No, it stays snug because
Wait.
they're like they're spandex, they're super tight.
True, true,
And I'll
true.
do, and I mean, it's like I'll do a pretty small water bottle
Okay.
when I do that, like a like maybe 12 ounces,
Mhm.
and just like the disposable kinds. Like I'll
Oh,
find
okay.
whatever we have lying around the house, and I'll just refill that and take that on runs, and so that's
Wow.
not even really a running product. The running product would be the shorts, but like shorts with extensive pocket room so that I can
Yes.
carry an entire water bottle and I have my hands
Mhm.
free and
Yeah, I know when I, like, ditched the belt and stopped carrying my gels, like, on my back where the whole thing would, like, shake up and down,
yeah.
and I got the bike shorts with the pockets, I'm like, "Yes, this is
Yeah. I
life-changing."
have to do the hydration vest in the summer for long
It's
runs.
so hot. Yeah, it's especially
I
there.
have to. I don't love having it. I don't love sucking from the little hose. Like I
I
like the
know.
entire thing. I don't love it, but it's like it's a survival thing at that
Yeah.
point.
No,
But
I totally get it. I totally get it. I love it. Well, this has been so awesome. I cannot thank you enough for coming on here. I loved catching up with you and meeting you
yeah.
for the first time. Social media friends. See,
Yeah.
no stranger danger here.
I know.
No, this is great and this has been great. Why don't you share where everybody can find you on social media? And then shout out your pod again because I'm
Sure.
very excited.
Sure.
Please.
Yeah. So, main place is Instagram. So it's running up that Hilary. I have underscores between each word. So running underscore up underscore that underscore
It's
Hilary, and
funny
it's Hilary with
funny
two L's, which
content.
is yeah,
Yeah,
it's Hilary with two L's because that's the way to spell it, and you can remember that because Hill has two L's, and
that's right.
so that's how Hilary should be spelled. And then obviously the podcast hasn't started, so I don't have that information. But if you follow me on Instagram, everything will be
Yep.
there. I'll be talking about it a lot,
Yep.
and I'll be announcing it officially soon. So there will be wherever it ends up being posted, it'll be
Yes, and
on
I will
Instagram.
share in all the show notes when it's launched, and we'll update it, and everybody will be able to find their way. I'm
Yay!
so excited. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for all your runs. I'm excited to follow you on your little summer of marathoning, basically, until
Yeah,
we get to Chicago.
yeah,
But
I'm
Hilary,
excited.
this has been so awesome. Thank you again for coming. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you.